Good morning and welcome to another Monday Morning Mobility. I'm Jeff Blanchard and I'm back to offer a little bit of mentorship and training to help you potentially enjoy better quality of life, eliminate that naggy pain that you might be experiencing, and encourage you to choose activity over being sedentary. Today's topic is shoulder blade positioning. So one thing that I notice oftentimes with patients, especially when they come in with shoulder troubles or neck troubles, one of the things that I look at is where are their shoulder blades sitting on their body. So I look from the front and look and see, okay, do we have one shoulder blade higher than the other? And as you can maybe notice, this shoulder blade is a little bit lower than this one for me, because this is my dominant side, and more commonly we'll see the dominant side being a little bit of a lower side. You might also notice, if you really observe it, that I have a little knob right here on my left side, because when I was in my 20s, I partially separated my AC joint. So when that happens, the collarbone sticks up in the air, and that's just where it's going to stay. It's fine. So, but we're going to talk about where your shoulder blades sit. So, especially in today's world, where we are on computers and phones and tablets all the time, as I mentioned in a previous Monday Morning Mobility, you see that people tend to get into this slouchy forward position. So the head tends to go forward, the shoulders come forward. So when the head comes forward and the shoulders come forward, the shoulder blades spread apart. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration of where shoulder blades tend to be and where they should be. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate shoulder blade position. So oftentimes people will come in and their shoulder blades will be in this kind of widespread position. So my shoulder blades are far apart from my spine. So in this forward position, what happens is the ball and socket, it rolls forward, which puts more stress through the ball and socket joint, which then puts more stress on the rotator cuff. That also tends to put more stress on these muscles here that come up into the back of the neck. And so if someone comes in complaining of neck issues, 9 times out of 10, I find that the shoulder blades are not in the right place. So shoulder blades tend to be in this position. So one of the things we try to do is we try to work on getting their shoulder blades to come back here. And so this is a more natural position for the shoulder blades to sit. And as if you notice from the side, my shoulders are lined up square here to the side, and they're not rolled here to the front with my chest dropping down with my head sticking out. Okay, so that's proper position. Okay, so when you go to lift your arm, your shoulder blade should go with your arm. So here's my shoulder blade. If I go in and I lift the arm, so the arm goes this way, the shoulder blade should come up in that direction. So here's an example. Here's the arm. So if the arm comes up this way, the shoulder blade should do this motion here, and this should drop back down to this motion here. What I see a lot is as the arm goes up, I see the entire shoulder go up this way as opposed to just staying in this position. So there are certain muscles around the shoulder blade that are very important to help the shoulder blade do the correct motion as the arm goes overhead. So again, what is wrong is this, and what is right is that. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple things that you can try to do in order to train your shoulder blade to not shrug up in the air as you get over your head. You want it to be able to drop down, so your shoulder blade drops down that direction as your arm comes up. So in order for the shoulder blade to track in the proper direction, it needs, there's a couple of different muscles that work to do that motion. There's one muscle that attaches right here that comes down your back. That is called the lower trapezius muscle. So imagine a rope being attached here pulling down this direction. It would pull the shoulder blade in that direction. Lower trapezius muscle is a very commonly found weak muscle in individuals. because we just don't use it very often, especially in our posture positions. So I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do for your lower trapezius. The other muscle is one that is located on this side of the shoulder blade, so between your ribs and the shoulder blade itself. That muscle is called your serratus anterior, and that muscle group attaches to the ribs and the shoulder blade, so it pulls the shoulder blade in this direction. So when those muscles work together, that creates the proper direction of the shoulder blade to then give you more space in the shoulder at the ball and socket joint, and so you don't end up getting pain here. And also when those muscles are stronger, typically the neck is better supported, so people end up having less or no neck pain when those muscles are doing your job. Okay, so I'm going to first show you an exercise for that lower trapezius muscle. This exercise I call shrug unshrug. So I typically use a ball. You don't have to use a ball. You can use a towel on a sliding glass door or something so your hands can slide up and down the wall. So basically what you would do is you would take the ball, set it against the wall, and you would start with your hands in this position on the ball. What you're going to do is you're going to roll the ball up over your head. Now once you're over your head, I want you to shrug your shoulders and then unshrug your shoulders. When you unshrug your shoulders, that's when you use that lower trapezius muscle. Then bring the ball back down. So bring the ball up, shrug, unshrug, back down. Now I have a lot of people who, when they first try doing this exercise, their shrug unshrug only moves this far because their shoulder blade's so tight and the muscles around the shoulder blade don't let that shoulder blade move very far. The better you can get that loosened up, the better your neck's going to feel, the better your shoulder's going to feel. So that's something that we try to do sometimes with this exercise, as long as it's pain-free. You don't want to do an exercise that's going to give you pain. So this is a good one to start working on the awareness of where is my shoulder blade. Is it too shrugged, or am I getting it to drop down as your arms are overhead? So the next exercise I'll demonstrate is a shoulder blade, what we call protraction retraction. So it can be done with your hands on a wall, and so basically what you're going to do is you're going to sink through your shoulder blades. So now my shoulder blades are close together, and then you're going to push through the shoulder blades, and so my shoulder blades are apart. So you're going to sink back through, shoulder blades are together, and then push away, shoulder blades apart. You're not going to bend your elbows. What I oftentimes see, I'll come over here to this wall. What I oftentimes see is I'll see people and they'll bend their elbows because they think it's a push-up. And it's not a push-up. It is a here, here. Elbows don't move. Push away, sink in. That would be a level 1 exercise, fairly easy because you're standing. A level 2 exercise would then be going down to the floor and trying to do this in hands and knees position. Sink through, push away. Sink through, push away. So going scapula retraction, scapula protraction. So that's an example of a way to try to work that serratus anterior muscle that helps that shoulder blade move up in this direction. Again, these exercises and making sure your shoulder blade moves properly can be very helpful for neck pain as well as for shoulder pain. All right, well, thank you for joining me for this episode of Monday Morning Mobility. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful in any way, please leave comments and share it with a friend. If you have a topic that you'd like to hear about, please let me know and I'll try to present something on that topic. So until next time, choose movement over being sedentary because motion is lotion.